Well, the Darkside was obviously a historic defense. But where does this defense rank out of all the all time great defenses in the National Football League?
It's football time.
Alrighty, let's go and welcome back to the All Round Sports Podcast, sports everything on this channel. I'm host Antonio. Today we're talking about the Seahawks, more importantly, the dark side of the defense, as the Seahawks defense was absolutely historic in the NFL this season, of course, being one of the best and feared defenses in the entire league. They were one of the best units ever assembled, primarily because of some pieces they got in that trade with Russell Wilson, which led to Witherspoon, Woolen, and I do believe I think it was Boy Mafe, I think as well, that was also in that draft. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But the Seattle Seahawks, of course, we all know, destroyed the New England Patriots in a final score of 29-13.
You and I have unfinished business.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure it's a bad thing.
A few moments later.
Let him go.
I have a better idea. Our unfinished business is finished.
Which is the second Super Bowl win in Seattle history, along with the Legion of Boom. But of course, other defenses like the 2001 Baltimore Ravens and also 2006 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with John Gruden at the time, were of course really good defenses all in all. But the question is, where does the dark side defense rank among those top elites? I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Before we do, if y'all do enjoy this video, do me a favor, smash that like button down below, subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's talk about the dark side, the Seattle defense. So the Seahawks defense. I think it is the best defense we have ever seen. And that's no disrespect to the Legion of Boom. This defense is terrifying. This defense of Seattle is one of the most scariest, terrifying units I have ever seen in my lifetime as a Seahawks fan. Basically all around the league. And in the defenses I have seen, this defense is the most terrifying defense that we have ever seen in the NFL. And that's no disrespect to the Ravens at the time, with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed at the time. Also along with the Buccaneers defense, which I don't know of many of them. Those players back in the day, I know John Lynch, I believe, probably was a player for that team. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But the Seattle Seahawks dark side defense is the best, not only because of the weapons around them, it's what they were able to do when their injuries were going on throughout the season. Remember, Nick Immanware, the defensive rookie of the team, went down in week 1 of the NFL season. Remember, when he went down against San Francisco, Ty Okada stepped up in place. And then Ernest Jones went out for the game against the Tennessee Titans. Patrick O'Connell came in and was able to help them get a few wins. On top of it, the Seattle Seahawks have been really good at getting defensive weapons from the draft. They've been really good at that, especially when that is Nick Immanware. Because since he has returned, I believe he was snubbed from the Defensive Rookie of the Year conversation. But that's another story for another day. This Seahawks team is a special unit. When we look at the defense, there's nobody like hot-headed, chirping like the Legion of Boom was. Because remember, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, and Cam Chancellor were all hotheads. Well, primarily Richard Sherman. When we look at this defense and the offense of this team, there was no hotheads except for Rick Woolen every once in a while. But when we look at this team, they're composed. They know the job ain't finished until it is finished. They went out there in the bye week were preparing for that game against San Francisco, even though they didn't know who it was yet. The Seattle Seahawks are the most composed team ever in the NFL because they knew the job wasn't finished. Like the great Kobe Bryant used to say, the job ain't finished until it's finished. The Seattle Seahawks used that and created it into their own mob, mentality over BS. That's what this defense did. Ernest Jones, who was a Super Bowl champion as a member of the LA Rams, this guy has been a main factor of this defense's turnaround. That man, Ernest Jones, has turned into one of the most terrifying middle linebackers in today's game. He not only had over 100 tackles in his career in Seattle this season, he also had a career high 5 interceptions. The Seattle Seahawks, the defensive coordinator Mike McDonald, turned this defense from remember when the defense was under Pete Carroll the last couple of years, it was dead probably like bottom of the list in almost every single defensive category. I was talking about the defense the year before Pete Carroll got fired. I was talking about this defense saying you got to stop the run. And that's what they've done for the last 2 years. They transformed Mike McDonald, who is an outstanding coach, turned this defense into the most terrifying defense we have ever seen. The Seattle Seahawks. This defense, I think, is one of the best defenses we have ever seen. The Seattle Seahawks, they're not going away, y'all. They are not going away. This defense could be a part of a dynasty for all we know. When we look at this defense, the offense was doing their part early on. They did their part. Because remember, back in the NFC Championship game against the LA Rams, the Rams were trying to come back. They were trying to claw back. But that defense stood up on the fourth down from the 6-yard line of Seattle. On top of it all, the Seattle Seahawks offense was able to put themselves ahead at the half, go with that touchdown to JSN, which was extremely important. The offense showed up when they needed to the most. They ran out the time when they got the fourth down stop, enough to make sure Matt Stafford didn't have a shot to get into the end zone at the end of the game. We all know that this defense is historic. This Seattle defense, arguably, is one of the most terrifying defenses we have ever seen in history. This defense, I think it's the best defense we have ever seen in NFL history. This defense, full of a bunch of dogs up front, in Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, Demarcus Lawrence, all guys. And think about it this way. The defense only has a few people there that are leaving. And possibly like Rick Rowland, Kobe Bryant. Most of those players are going to be back. Most of those players are going to return. So when I look at this team, the Seattle Seahawks, this is a team that could turn into a dynasty, y'all. Now, am I saying they're going to go back to back? No. Am I saying that they're going to win a Super Bowl another Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 years? Maybe. But this is the beginning of something special. This season was amazing. This season was absolutely incredible. Every way, shape, and form. I am telling y'all something right now. If they nail free agency, because they have $62 million in cap space, and not only get stud weapons in this year's NFL draft with only 4 picks, this defense could be back next year in the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that it will, but when we look at the NFC, they beat the 2 thorns in their sides from the past 2 years, the LA Rams and the 49ers, and then beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, getting their revenge from 11 years ago. This team isn't going away, y'all. This Seattle Seahawks defense isn't going away. This defense is going to stay dominant. They are going to stay in contention for the next few years. This Seattle team, this is only the beginning, y'all. This was the first time they won a playoff game since 2019. And on top of it, they made a run all the way to the whole damn thing in the Super Bowl. This team isn't going away. The NFC West better fear this team because this defense is one of the most terrifying defenses we have ever seen in today's NFL. Let me know in the comments, guys. Where do you guys think the Seahawks defense ranks above all the historic defenses in the NFL throughout recent years? Let me know in the comments, guys. Think down below. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, do me a big favor, smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, I'll see you on the next one. Ciao for now.